There is so much glare in this office. That's the problem with having really large windows is that on especially sunny days like this, there's a lot of glare. That's it. Welcome to the EgoWorks Artist Studio Vlog, episode 12. It's been a little bit since I did my last vlog, so we're going to be doing a lot of catching up. For those of you who are new here, welcome. My name is Daphne Lage, and I'm a cartoonist, illustrator, and comic book artist from New York. I am known for my furry fantasy adventure comic Tall Tales and my medieval fantasy drama Eagle Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, which is currently on Kickstarter right now, which with issue 10 of this 16-issue series. For everybody joining us today, I share my office space with a parrot and two parakeets, and those are going to be the noises you hear in the background, like that. And I do try to edit them out as best as I can, but on those moments that I can't, at least you know what's going on. Welcome to episode 12 of my Artist Studio vlog series. And what I use these vlogs for is to keep track of all of the artwork that I have been completing since the beginning of the year. Turned out that I am more likely to remember how much artwork I actually do when I'm just documenting what pieces got completed. So hopefully by the end of the year, I will have a much more realistic look back as to how much I have accomplished. So that's the point of these vlogs. And also to just talk about whatever topic during during this period of recording. So like I said, because it's been a couple of weeks, I think it's been about 3 weeks since my last vlog, there's some catching up to do. So let's get started with that. The first most important thing that I was able to accomplish these past couple of weeks is finally finishing Eagle Raven issue 10. I was able to just skirt under that line in finishing the book just in time for the campaign to go live. This is the completed book, and the files I already fixed the files. So pretty much this is ready to go. So when the campaign ends, I'm going to send the files usually within a couple of days after the campaign closing. And then hopefully in about 2 weeks, I will have the books back so that I can start fulfilling. So here's the finished book. This is the main thing that I was grinding on for a bit. So it's finally nice to have this done. The next piece that I ended up finishing, I actually went back to an older piece and colored it. So this is the cover image for my fanfic that I have on Substack. This is a fanfic that I wrote back in 2000. I did have a fanfic phase. Actually, I don't think it's really it's really a phase as much as I still use fanfic as a way to figure out plot holes in my original work. So fanfic does serve a purpose in my creative outlet. Freeze Frame, which is a Secretive Nim fanfic. I thought that I had lost this fanfic a long time ago, and I was able to find it again. And I decided that I was just going to put it on my Substack. And it's also illustrated if you want to check that out. Just remember, I wrote this back in 2000, so take it or leave it, I guess. The next piece that I ended up finishing is actually still related to the Eagle Raven campaign, and it is a piece that is actually a stretch goal on the campaign. So this is a piece that I did of Eagle Raven cosplaying as Chapel Roan at the Pink Unicorn Club. I just thought the idea was just really funny. Actually, it was based on a birthday gift image that I received where Eagle Raven really did look like Chapel Roan. So I ran with the idea and I decided to make this print. So that was another piece that I ended up finishing. The next thing that I moved on to, because there is no rest for the wicked, or is it no rest for the weary? I've heard both versions, but I think they both work either way. So the next project that I decided to take a gander at was House of Bob. I did close out the last campaign, so I figured it was finally time for me to look at the next campaign, which is going to be launching sometime at the end of the year. So if you are waiting for the opportunity to get more commissions from me, for those of you who don't know, House of Bob is my collection of spicy furry art that I put together in sketchbooks and then offer commissions at the same time. So I decided to take a look at the next volume, which is called CTs. And I also decided to try to figure out what else I could do with these images instead of just having them as just pinups inside the book. So what I'm playing around with is double-sided postcards, as you can see here, double-sided postcards and stickers. So just to add something a little bit more to House of Bob in terms of merchandising, especially with all the talks about the tariffs and nobody really knowing what's going on with that. I wanted to make sure I created merchandise that I could easily make in the States. These are a couple of samples of what I'm planning on doing. I went and took one of the pieces, and what I did was I made an alternate clean version. I'm pretty sure YouTube won't give me a hassle over this because technically it is censored. But the idea is to have the clean version on the front of the print and then the uncensored version on the back of the print. Like I said, I got a lot of work done. Another piece that I worked on was another page from issue 13 of Eagle Raven, completing the medieval Netflix and chill series that I started. There's a scene, this scene, you know, you get the hint. You get the gist of it. And I completed that scene as well. So future me doesn't have to worry about it when I hit issue 13. With that, I decided to go ahead and kind of start issue 11 of Eagle Raven. So this is the first completed page of issue 11. I figure that I start with an easier page, which just happened to be page 6. As I stated before, I have Eagle Raven Heir the First Unicorn issue 10 up on Kickstarter right now, but I also have a second Kickstarter. It's not officially mine, but I am part of the project. That is the TENCHI MUYO Collected Omnibus edition. Back in the day, around 97, I think this came out around 1997. Myself, JD Calderon, who also wrote Tall Tales, and our friend Matthew Lunsford, we were the team working on bringing an American version of TENCHI MUYO into the United States. This series was commissioned by Pioneer / P Anime, who had the license at the time. My part was that I did the lettering on it, so I'm claiming it. And after all these years, another company, Armature Entertainment, ended up with the rights. And now they have a Kickstarter right now, collecting all 6 issues into one trade paperback. And on that final note, there's one more piece that I was able to complete before recording this video. It's another Ego Raven piece where I have Ego Raven cosplaying as Ayeka from Tenchi MUYO. So I figured, why not? Might as well end it on that. But I just like the fact that this piece work can be a cosplay piece, or it could just be Ego Raven dressed up for no reason. So that brings to a conclusion all the artwork that I accomplished, and it's just all about just keeping it moving forward. So the next thing that I have been planning is conventions. I'm coming up really, really fast on my first convention of the year, which is Monsterotica Book Con. It is a specialty convention for authors who write monster erotica novels. So I'm getting ready to go to this convention as an attendee, and I'm going to use this opportunity to scope out the show and see if this is something that maybe I could seriously do as a vendor. It seems that the convention has been so popular in theory, like the show is in 2 weeks. Um, that they're telling people, that the organizers are telling people to not bother them about 2026 until the 2025 show happened. So I'm hoping that that's a really good sign that they'll hopefully like expand the show and make it a little bit bigger, and maybe I'll have a chance of getting a table there and trying out some stuff, which I did show off on previous vlogs. So part of, like I said, so part of me going there is to scope out the show. But also, another thing that I want to do is I want to see if I can expand my portfolio into the kind of like the book cover realm. What I did was I put together this kind of like lunchbox of stuff that I'm bringing to the convention to give out. Like I said, I'm not there as a vendor, so I'm not selling anything. The main thing that I'm bringing is kind of like a Kickstarter portfolio. The QR code, it goes to my Kara portfolio. I figured that even though I have a website, I thought that the Kara portfolio, where I just have my artwork on it, would be just a lot easier for them to just scan and get like a really quick rundown as to the type of artwork that I do. So the other thing that I'm bringing are these monster trading cards. I got to be careful with how I show these because I can only show the fronts of them. So these are the two trading cards that I'm bringing to Monsterotica to trade and to give out. I made two double-sided trading cards. Like I said, I could only show the fronts of these because the backs are a little spicy. And then the other thing, I actually made these first. And I know that I showed it off on a previous vlog, but I figure I'll show them off here. So these are two sets of bookmarks that I made also to trade and give away. It's not a big deal to give them away. That's the whole point. And so one of them is my wolf pack, my alpha wolves, and then the other one is my unicorn guys. So these characters are going to be part of a series that's part of House of Bob called Alpha Boyfriends. And I just figure I just make the jump to, I guess like introducing them at Monsterotica. So the unicorn bookmark on the back, it says, "I'm here for the horny guys." But bum. And then the Alpha Wolves bookmark is like all about that not life. If you know, you know. You can try looking up Omegaverse if you want, but I don't recommend it. Look up Omegaverse at your own risk. And then last but not least, I have these stickers that I'm also going to be giving away. So this one is "Who's Your Alpha Daddy?" And the other one is one of the unicorns, you know, just horny reader because they love their puns. And yeah, so this again, this was a series that served a dual purpose. It allowed me to kind of like figure out different types of merchandise that I would consider, like, say, if I were to vend at Monsterotica, I would end up doing like more stuff like this with my alpha characters, probably doing more. I know that I spoke about not being sure if I really wanted to lean in into like the popular monsters, and just keep it focused on my wolves and unicorns. But I don't know. The more things are going, the more it's like, you know what, probably I should continue the series. I guess it just depends on how I vibe at Monsterotica to see which direction I go in, or whether I continue that direction. So this is also the first time that I'm going to be going to a convention pretty much by myself, which is really unusual for me because it's like I only know conventions from working them. Like, and mind you, I've worked conventions by myself, but for some reason this feels completely different. I guess when you're working a convention by yourself, it's just that. It's like you're working. So it doesn't feel like anything else. But in this case, I'm going to be specifically networking. It's really difficult for me to kind of like contemplate the idea too much, because I'm not used to that. And I'm used to being behind a table, not in front of it. And it's a whole new mindset that I have to kind of like get over, being, not exactly a really social person. And yeah, so that's going to be the biggest thing that I'm going to have to overcome for this convention, because let me tell you, the temptation to just buy books and leave is very, very high. I have to keep reminding myself that that's not the main reason why I'm there. I'm there to talk to authors, figure out what's going on in this scene, whether it's something that I can transition my artwork into catering my artwork to them, to this different fan base. Although I can't imagine it being, honestly, the more I looked into like everybody who does this type of work, who writes these types of books, and the artists who cater to this monster fandom, I mean, really, the only way that I can describe this is that it's just like furry fandom, except it's predominantly women, if not exclusively women. And to tell you the truth, if I can't figure out how to fit into this environment, I don't know what's going on. I've always, it's like I've been for the last while trying to figure out how to expand my audience with Ego Raven, with my comics, with House of Bob, and that's the thing. And it's like, and this fandom seems to tick all the check boxes. Again, I have to kind of like keep myself from freaking out because I'm there by myself and not vending, that I just have to kind of like push through it and actually talk to everybody. So, and you know what? I'm probably making much ado about nothing, to tell you the truth. It's probably going to be fine. I'm probably going to be able to give away everything that I have here, in the box. And whatever comes of it, that's what it's going to be. So I'm still kind of like figuring out some last minute logistics for this convention. But I think, yeah, I think I'm going to be okay. I think honestly, the worst thing that I have to worry about is ending up buying too many books. Can you really have too many books? I mean, really? Yeah, no. It's like that. I think that might be my biggest danger at this show, rather than, whether the authors will talk to me or not. Let's see how that goes. So, everybody, wish me luck. And on that note, if you made it to the end of the video, give me a good luck. Give me a good luck emoji. I need all the encouragement that I can get to not freak out at this convention. So hopefully it leads to good things. If not, at worst, at least I'll have a good time and have some brand new books to read. So, thank you so much for joining me today on this episode. Thank you so much for actually making it to the end and listening to me ramble about my work and my upcoming convention fears, I guess. You could be anywhere else. You could be watching anything else, but yet you clicked on this video. So I appreciate every single one of you. And while you're here, please go ahead and like, share, and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever any of my new videos go up. Remember that Ego Raven is on Kickstarter and also Tenchi Muyu is on Kickstarter. You can check those out. The links will be in the show notes. But if you want an easier place to read Ego Raven and Tall Tales, my other comic, you can head on over to Webtoon. Ego Raven updates every Tuesday and Tall Tales updates every Thursday. And right now, Ego Raven is on issue 5, and I think Tall Tales has already entered issue 6. That's it for me. If you want to learn more about me and my artwork and all my other stuff, you could also head on over to my website at egoworks.com, EGOWORKS, where you can find all of my links to my social media. And that's it for me. So thank you so much again, and I'll see you next time.